In this Fortnite Save the World Quick Tips video, I'm going to be talking about Obsidian versus Shadowshard and which route should you take. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes down to the Obsidian or Shadowshard route, you need to keep playing the game because this video is for people that have gotten to this point of Fortnite Save the World. The reason why I just don't want to break down the Obsidian and Shadowshard thing is because it's just going to make the video longer than it needs to be. And as you guys know, I like to get straight to the point. So, Obsidian Weapons are just going to level up your weapon, increase damage and headshot damage by a little bit as well as impact. But Shadowshard weapons are completely different. A Shadowshard weapon will be able to provide you with extra damage, extra headshot damage and extra impact with the cost of a little bit slower fire rate and 300 durability instead of 375 durability. Now, durability in Fortnite Save the World is actually completely irrelevant, except for one circumstance which we're going to talk about later. But since durability is irrelevant, that's why most of the weapons that I play with in Fortnite Save the World are mostly all turned into Shadowshard weapons. Because I rather have extra damage than have my weapon last me longer. I don't really care how long the weapon lasts. The weapon is simply just a tool that is going to be helping me in Fortnite Save the World, and I want that tool to help me as much as possible. So that's why all of my weapons, right? I'm talking weapons, not melee weapons. All of my weapons are mostly going the Shadowshard route. So how is it, that I turned some of my weapons into the Obsidian route? Well, let me explain. Let's say that you want to have a weapon for a defender. So I'm gonna head on to my heroes, defenders, and right here we have some submachine gun defenders, right? This lady can use submachine guns and assault rifles. If I want a weapon for one of my submachine gun or assault rifle defenders, then I'm going to make that weapon into Obsidian. Why is that? The reason for that is because I want to get more use out of the weapon, and I don't want to be crafting the weapon like non-stop every single time. So that's why, of course, knowing the purpose of your weapon is also really important when it comes down to the Obsidian or Shadowshard route. At the time of me making this video, once you turn a weapon into Shadowshard or Obsidian, you can't turn back, okay? It's going to stay with Shadowshard like pretty much forever. Unless, of course, they give you the ability to change it, or you send an email to Epic Games and in about 2 weeks or so they're going to get back to you and they're going to change your schematic if, of course, you're nice. The reason why I like to go with Shadowshard for my weapons as well is because, a lot of people say, well, it's sometimes better to go with Obsidian because you don't have a lot of Shadowshard. If you're a smart player and you know how to manage your materials, you should never really be low on Shadowshard because as you just play the game, you're going to be passively getting Shadowshard if, of course, you know what you're doing. So let's talk about melee weapons. There's a huge majority of players that say that Obsidian melee weapons is the only way to go and any other way is wrong. I disagree. My Spectral Blade, which is, my favorite sword in the game, is a Sunbeam Spectral Blade instead of a Bright Core Spectral Blade. And of course, the reason why it's a Sunbeam Spectral Blade is because it's power level 50. If it were power level, if it was level 40, it would be a Shadowshard, right? But the reason why I went the Shadowshard route with my Spectral Blade is because I knew what was going to be the purpose of my Spectral Blade. An all-around blade that was going to be doing massive damage very, very quickly. So instead of having the extra swing speed that is going to be completely useless, I'd rather have the extra damage that is going to help me kill the Husky Husk faster. Some people prefer faster swing speed, others prefer faster damage instantly, when it comes down to melee weapons. And I'm one of those people that sometimes I prefer big damage instantly within 2 seconds than sort of big damage in the long term over the course of 15 seconds. Do you guys get what I mean? When it comes down to melee weapons, everyone has their opinions, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care about them. Okay? Honestly, I just like to go with what I think is right, and when it comes down to melee weapons, if the weapon is gonna be doing a lot of damage, and it's gonna be a weapon that I think I want to be using just for the damage instead of the swing speed, I'm gonna go the Shadowshard route, as I did also with my Corsair. But if it's a weapon that I wanted to, I wanted to have as much swing speed as possible and I wanted to have as much utility as possible, and I want it to last also as much as possible, I'm going to go the Obsidian route. And of course, when I get it to level 50, it's going to be a bright core weapon. So that's pretty much it for this Fortnite Save the World quick tips video. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like, and of course feel free to share your thoughts on Obsidian versus Shadowshard and why you might agree or disagree with me on these specific opinions. See you guys in the next one. Peace.